Namaskar and welcome back to Media Scan, your weekend dose of headlines, controversies and perspectives. Viewers, when the Karnataka High Court came out with a clear order after long hearings to say that hijab does not constitute an essential religious practice in Islam and therefore institutions have the right to frame rules and laws allowing or disallowing hijab as part of the uniform, all those who thought that this will bring a peaceful resolution of the controversy going on for several weeks were disappointed. Resolution still appears elusive on the matter for two reasons. First, many of the petitioners have gone to Supreme Court. There was already a petition pending in the apex court while the hearing was on in the High Court. Secondly, many of the protesting students and their supporters have come out to say that they are not ready to accept this verdict, and some have even gone to the extent to say that if they have to choose between the hijab and education, they will prefer the former. What does this mean for the future of female education in the Muslim society? What do these rigid positions mean for the constitutional fabric, for the social fabric of our country? And which way is the whole matter likely to go? To understand, to decipher, and to know exactly the constitutional and legal position, I have a very special guest on Media Scan with me this evening, a person who is a noted legal luminary, a former union minister, and currently the governor of Kerala, Shri Arif Muhammad Khan, a person who has the track record of speaking out his mind boldly and take on fundamental forces and has never cared to think what the consequences of his position may be if it means better resolution and harmony for the society, as also the progress of the Muslim as well as the overall Indian society. Viewers, it gives me great pleasure to welcome here Shri Arif Muhammad Khan. Namaskar, sir, and it's an honor to have you, Your Excellency, on Media Scan.
Thank you very much.
I should like to get on to the first question right away, sir. And my straight question to you is, after following the hijab controversy for several weeks, as we were all doing, when you saw the Karnataka High Court come out with a clear order, what were your first thoughts on the judgment, sir?
As far as the legal and constitutional position is concerned, there was absolutely nothing in doubt because Supreme Court has laid down the test of essentiality long time back. In our country, since very long time, so many evil practices had crept into the system,
yes,
and people claimed that they are sanctioned by religion, they are sanctioned by Shastras. In fact, in the case of untouchability, Mahatma Gandhi had to go to the extent of saying that I firmly believe that this practice is not sanctioned by the Shastras, but if you insist that it is, then to that extent I refuse to believe in those Shastras.
Right.
So we have a history. We have a history where in 1986, the Personal Law Board was saying that triple divorce, which does not even find mention in the scripture, and they were describing it as divine law, Khuda ka Qanun, and they had the kind of pressure they had built up in the country by organizing huge public meetings saying religion is danger, and they had forced the government to reverse the judgment of the Supreme Court in Shah Bano case through a parliamentary legislation. With this background in view, Supreme Court has laid down a basic principle, and basic thing is that if you claim protection under Article 25, that is freedom of conscience, which has been popularly known as freedom of religion,
Yes.
then you will have to show that thing for which you are claiming protection constitutes essential, integral, and intrinsic part of the faith, which is absolutely necessary for the practice of the faith.
Please allow me to put a question here, sir, because
Yes,
this
please.
is one aspect of the whole debate that
Yes.
has now become reignited after the order came, and some very strong positions have been, expressed by the people, especially the protesting students. They are saying that when we went with our petition to the High Court, our question was that under Article 25, which you also just mentioned, we have the right to our practice, and which also applies inside the classroom. However, they are saying that it is not for the court to decide what is essential practice or not. So this question of ERP, whether they are not ready to accept the court's position on the essential practice formula. So that only makes the situation more complicated.
So
Does the
then-
court have this right to deliberate on ERP, sir?
What is the way out? Then they should have gone. They should have gone to the Supreme Court, because if they were going to challenge the constitutionality of the test of essentiality, then that has not been laid down by Karnataka High Court. Every High Court in the country is bound by the order of the Supreme Court, which has been laid down by the Supreme Court. Then they should have gone to the Supreme Court and challenge the constitutionality of the essentiality test. If you allow me, I would like to say
Yes,
that
sir.
essentially it is not the problem of hijab. It is not any problem relating to religion or even culture. Some people have in their mind, and they use a particular term for it. They say, our milli tashakhus, milli means our community, tashakhus means identity. Our identity is different from others, and this identity enjoys supremacy over all other identities. Before 1947, in the name of that supremacist attitude, in the name of that separate identity, they claimed to be separate nation, and they demanded partition of the country. And now, because of the changed circumstances, now they are talking of separate identity. We are basically, the burden of the song is, we are different. They are not ready to make distinction between religion, matters of faith, and matters of culture.
I get your
Anything-
point, sir. I get
Yes.
your point, and this is really a situation which needs very, very thoughtful, and I must also say tactful handling, surely, by the administration, by the judiciary and all other wings. However, coming back to the judgment of the Karnataka High Court, there was one point that has been raised by the Honorable Court here, which says that even though we do not want to get into the matter of the police investigations which are still underway, the court is saying that certainly there is an unseen hand which has somehow, helped in blowing up this matter beyond proportions. Because Muslim women, Muslim girls have been going to their classes even earlier, and no such kind of a controversy was raised. So what happened just now? Do you also agree, sir, that there was an unseen hand working somewhere which has helped in blowing out this matter beyond proportions? Because, as you just said, some people want to bring in the issue of identity into everything in day-to-day life.
For last 2 or 3 months, I don't exactly remember when this whole issue started.
Sir?
I have been right from day one. I am of the view that this is not a controversy. This is a conspiracy.
Sir?
And if I have used the term conspiracy, it means that hands seen and unseen, both are involved in it. Conspiracy means the same thing. And I would request you to just to pause and give a thought to this thing, that if you accept their argument
Yes.
that hijab is essential, now what are going to be the consequences? A young Muslim woman having charge of the district as IPS officer, having the responsibility to control the crimes and criminals, do you expect her to discharge her duties while wearing veil? You have so many news presenters, anchors on our media. Will viewers accept a young Muslim girl wearing veil presenting news to them? There are Muslim girls who are flying planes, and now our defense forces have opened their gates. Air Force, Navy, Army, they have opened. Our young girls are flying jet fighters. You want them to wear veil? If we accept their, as far as it is a matter of choice, there is no problem. Everybody is free to wear whatever one wants to wear. But once you agree to the proposition that it is essential, then these women will have the option either to resign their job or to live with a sense of guilt that because of their job they are not able to do something which their religion has prescribed.
It's very clear, sir. It's very clear that people who have been, arguing for the hijab, and I have been reading a lot of commentaries and analysis in the op-eds and newspaper columns lately. So they have certainly not gone into all the aspects which you just raised, and very rightly so. So what do you think, sir, as someone who knows our laws and the constitution, both right from beginning to end, where do you think it will stand in the Supreme Court? We here in Doordarshan, we certainly do not want to preempt a court hearing, but exactly what are the questions before the Supreme Court now that this matter has come to them?
Well, I'm not going to predict what is going to be the judgment of the Supreme Court.
No, sir.
But one thing I'm absolutely certain about, the essentiality test is absolutely necessary for a country like India. Okay. Anything and everything which people claim that it is sanctioned by the religion, that cannot be accepted. Even the basic fundamental rights are not, they are also subject to, say for instance, Article 25 is subject to morality and public health. Okay. Article 19, another article which they refer to, Article 19 is also subject to reasonable restrictions in our country, where people are deeply religious. Everything, sometimes very erroneously, but they believe that this is part of their religious faith. So they have to be told, they have to be educated. Awareness need to be created. So in my opinion, the Supreme Court ruling on the essentiality test is great, absolutely essential. And as far as Islam is concerned, Islam itself has described clearly what is essential for the practice of the faith. And they are called in Arabic Arkan-e Khamsa, which means there are 5 pillars of faith. First is affirmation of faith, oral. Second is prayers. Third is fasting. Fourth is charity. And fifth is for those who have enough resources to travel to Makkah to perform the Hajj. There is nobody, and I'm emphasizing it, there is nobody who can make any addition to this list or make any deletion from this list. So the job of any court, whether it is Honorable High Court or Honorable Supreme Court, is not really very difficult. In the case of triple divorce, they came to the conclusion that the triple divorce, whatever the other side was claiming, does not constitute as essential, intrinsic and integral to the religion. And they said that it conflicts not only with the provisions of the constitution, but also with the provisions of the scripture. Similarly, I feel absolutely sure, because nobody has a right to add anything else to that list of 5 essential things which religion itself has clarified. Therefore,
I don't think anyone could have explained this complex situation as well as you have done, sir, both from the legal standpoint and also the religious perspective. But on a slightly related issue, but not exactly legal, sir, you have been a pioneer. You are such a bold voice. When you took that position against the amendment related to the Shah Bano order, and you quit your ministry, you won lakhs of admirers in the country, and of course you made some enemies also. But my question here, sir, is when you listen on television and at various platforms about young women of 18 and 19 and 20 years proclaiming so boldly that pehle hijab fir kitab, if we are not allowed the hijab in the classroom, we will quit our education and such things. Does it worry you, sir, about the whole situation, about the track we are taking?
No, I'm not. I'm not greatly concerned about it. Why I'm not concerned about it? Because I'm seeing in the most remote areas the enthusiasm with which the young Muslim girls who were kept behind the 4 walls, under the 4 walls, how enthusiastically they have taken to education. Come to my village. The remotest.
So what is this handful of women?
Just let me complete. Let me complete.
Yes, sir, please carry on.
They have taken with such enthusiasm that they come from families where only till about 5, 7, 10 years back, they were not, when they reached the age of 13 or 14, they were not allowed to step outside the house. And now they are cycling their way to their college at the age of 16, 17 and 18. And they travel 5, 7 kilometers to reach college. These young girls who are saying today that hijab before kitab or something like that, they are being used as pawn by some of these unseen hands.
Right.
And very soon they will realize, that whatever is these people are doing, it is not in their interest. Muslim women, after this burden has been taken, particularly the young girls, after this burden of triple divorce has been taken off her mind, she is feeling liberated. And when anybody says hijab or kitab, the whole purpose of the religion, the first verse which was revealed to the Holy Prophet was Iqra bismi rabbikal ladhi khalaq. Read. The whole, and the mission of the Prophet, the prophetic work, in 3 lines, Quran has same line, but thrice it has been mentioned in Quran. وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ. What is the purpose of religion? To teach them the book, the wisdom, and through wisdom sanctify them, purify them. So anybody who says that tries to project a conflict between education and religion understands neither religion nor understands the importance of education. The whole purpose of religion, in fact, religion did not prescribe prayer or fasting or even charity before. First, what it prescribed? Acquisition of education, acquisition of knowledge. So therefore, those who are making these syllables, they are not, poor thing, they are not being aware. They are not even aware. Soon they will come to recognize this unseen hand. And there already indications are there. You know, the girl who for the first time made this statement and she did not appear for the examination and she walked away with her father who was present there. Yes. Next day, papers reported that that gentleman is president of the district unit of a Muslim political party.
Correct,
So
sir.
we know who the unseen hand. They are so full of hatred for the government which we have today at the center that they want to use every opportunity, and if the opportunity is not there, they want to create opportunity to create
So clearly, the interest of religion is the last thing on their mind. It is definitely something else. However, sir, one charge has been laid in the newspaper columns, in commentaries on television and various media platforms by our people, the commentariat, our op-ed writers, etc., that all this is happening because there is heightened polarization in the country at a communal level, and it is not going to reduce because the indications are such. Do you also feel the country is in a throes of communal polarization, and this is the biggest challenge at the moment, sir?
I feel that on religious and caste lines, certainly there should not be any polarization. But if some people are trying to say that this polarization, which definitely is there, it has happened in recent years, then they are trying to mislead the people of India.
Okay.
Polarization right from the first election. Deliberately, a sense of insecurity was created in the minds of a particular community, and they were persuaded to vote as a bloc, and continuously they continued to vote as a bloc, actuated by that sense of insecurity, which definitely was created by those who were the beneficiaries of that bloc vote. Now, if some other communities also start copying that, start imitating that, then they are saying that polarization is happening. No, polarization, these attempts, I am definitely against it. And
Yes.
I can say with pride that, and it was reported by the press, my first meeting in my new constituency, Bahraich 84, first public meeting, and I said, if anyone wants to vote for me because of my religion, because of my caste, because of my origin, then I'm sorry, I don't need those votes.
Right. So,
But this has been happening.
Yes.
Nobody can deny it right from 1952. We are seeing it in every election.
Yes.
So if you try to mobilize one bloc, polarize one bloc, then it's okay. If the others also start behaving in the same manner, then it becomes ugly. This argument is not acceptable to me.
That's a very in-depth way of putting it, sir, and it has really been an eye-opener for us to, listen to all this from your side and put it in the right perspective on every question. However, one old debate that has been reignited, sir, in the whole coverage of this hijab controversy. It had also come up at the time when the apex court gave the milestone judgment on triple talaq, and that is, these issues are going to keep cropping up till the time the country does not have a uniform civil code which will override all kinds of personal laws. You, as a person who knows our constitution and the social complexities so well, do you really think UCC is the final resolution for all such situations in the future which may keep arising?
Actually, the right word is common civil code. Common civil code is part of the directives of state policy.
Yes.
Possibly the constitution makers were conscious and aware of the serious and deep divide which was created during about 150 years before independence.
Yes.
Where the colonial masters refused to acknowledge India as a nation. They said India is merely a conglomeration of different communities. Therefore, the building block of India during that time was community. It was not individual citizen. Now, under our constitution, the building block, the constituent unit is the individual citizen, and common civil code is a constitutional directive. Anybody who is elected to an office where he has to take the oath of the constitution is bound to carry this objective forward. The only debate which can be there is whether we have created enough adequate awareness among the people, or so far, even after 75 years, we have failed to do that. And the truth is that we failed to do it because we were not moving in the positive direction. In 1986, we went in the reverse direction.
Yes.
But uniform civil code, but we must also understand that uniform, this common civil code, the purpose of the common civil code, today we have Hindu code, for instance. Hindu code covers Hindus, Jains, Buddhists, Sikhs. Has it been able to create any uniformity among them? Even among Hindus, that uniformity is missing. India is never wary of diversity. We enjoy diversity. We have always believed that diversity enriches our culture. It strengthens us. That is not the purpose. The purpose of the common civil code is to create common rights and obligations which arise from the fact of marriage. It is not going to prescribe now kind of apprehensions which are created in the mind of people. Once uniform civil code comes, common civil code comes, you won't be able to solemnize your marriage according to your own rights. No. Among Hindus in northern India, you take 7 pheras around the fire. In South India, in Kerala, that practice is not here. And there are so many things which I can describe. So all these misgivings have been deliberately created. The real problem is not absence, although I'm strongly in favor of common civil code, and I think that this constitutional objective must be achieved at the earliest. But even after you are able to enact the uniform civil code, these discordant elements, they are the people who were basically opposed to the idea of India. India became free in August 1947. They did not allow Hyderabad state to merge into India for another 13 months. And the orgy of violence, mayhem, rape, and all kind of things which they indulged in are very well documented. This mindset, they only want to create problems for India.
So essentially what I gather from your comments, sir, is that while common civil code is certainly a constitutional necessity now, it has been for a long time, as you are saying, but there will still be powers and forces who do not believe in the true idea of India, and our policy makers, our society have to be geared up to, deal with them, to tackle them in the right way.
Exactly.
So I think it has been a wonderful learning experience, sir, to discuss the complexities, the social, the religious, the legal aspects involved in this whole controversy. And like every time that I have ever spoken to you, it is always such a wonderful learning experience to listen to you, your thoughts, for their clarity, for the depth, for the insight that we get from you. I am afraid, sir, and I feel quite pained to say that I have to bring this conversation to an end now, because I have completely run out of time on my show. But it's wonderful. It's been wonderful to have you on the show, sir, and we are very grateful that you could spare the time at such a short notice, despite all your engagements. Thank you once again, Your Excellency, and we hope we'll have the benefit of your perspective in the future too. Namaskar.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaskar.
With that very special episode with the Governor of Kerala, Shri Arif Muhammad Khan, viewers, it's time for a wrap-up on Media Scan this evening. But do keep watching DD India as we continue to scan the media for you. Good night.